What's happening, tabletop gamers? My name is LeunameGames and welcome back to LeunameGames Unboxes. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Tower of London by Stephen Sauer and Daryl Andrews and published by Wizkids. Let's have a look at the back here and see what this is about. Legend says, if the Tower of London ravens are lost or fly away, the crown will fall and Britain with it. In Tower of London, players fight for control of the tower using their influence to occupy different buildings and gather ravens. First player to get 7 ravens wins instantly. So an area control game about trying to control the Tower of London, which for those of you who don't know, is one of the most infamous prisons in Britain. A little bit of an odd concept, but I'm intrigued. So with all that said, let's have a look and see what does Tower of London have to offer us. The game comes with a small board, and it looks like it's actually a map of the Tower of London sitting on a table, and it's actually divided up into 3 sections represented by these 3 different colors and 4 quadrants, which is actually not the folding lines of the board itself. It's actually these really thin lines on here that actually divide the board into the 4 different quadrants. There's a turn order track here, 13 turns to be exact, so I'm assuming there's going to only be 13 turns in a round, and I'm assuming this is going to determine who gets to go and when, and based on the number of players, that means that some players could find themselves going less than others. On the other side is a section for event cards and scoring cards, which I'm assuming are going to determine how the game is going to be scored from game to game. Speaking of scoring cards, the game comes with 3 scoring cards, and they are actually solely based on how many players are playing the game, 3, 4, or 5. It looks like they're actually determining how many ravens you'll get depending on what round you're in and how much of a certain district in the tower that you control. For example, the most in this orange here will get 2 ravens, the most in the green gets 2, the most in the blue gets 2, and so on and so forth, and it's going to be different depending on each round. There's a deck of event cards that come with the game, and these are basically going to just be little things that happen throughout the course of the game at various times in the round, whether it's at the start of the round, at the end of the round, or even during the round, when certain effects will happen that simply just change out the mechanisms. And I will say, the text on these cards are very easy to see, which is a very nice touch, so you shouldn't have any issues with reading them. There are also 5 decks of the Tower of London cards, and they're actually in different colors because there's actually supposed to be a deck separate for each player. Each deck of cards has the same set of cards that are in each of the decks, with a little title here for some extra flavor, some effect that allows you to do something if you play it for the effect, and some numbers up here for the different sections that are actually in the tower. And each of these are basically where, if you were to play this for the numbers, you get to place an influence wherever the little numbers state within that section. For example, this one for poison allows you to place 1 in orange 1. If you wanted to play in green, you would place an influence in 14. And if you wanted to place it for blue, you would place it in 27. Just like the event cards, I gotta say, the abilities for the cards here are very easy to see, so you shouldn't have any issues there. And the numbers really stand out from the backgrounds for the 3 different colors, so you shouldn't have any issues with seeing them. I also really like the fact that they decided to add a raven in the 3 sections of the tower in different positions, so that if you are colorblind, you don't really need to worry about remembering, oh, this is the orange one. You look at the raven, and it's facing right, that means it's the first one, the middle is the second one, and the one who faces left is the third one. Just a really nice touch and a really nice aid for those who have trouble seeing colors. Speaking of colors, there are a whole bunch of colored cubes that come with the game, and this is basically representing the player's influence that you are going to have them be placed throughout the various sections of the board to try and control various levels of the tower. Now I will say, if you are colorblind, you will have trouble telling these apart, because there really is no way to tell the various influence pieces apart from their colors. And lastly, there are the ravens themselves. And these are what you're going to be fighting over in the game. They are, I must say, very well designed. They actually have the raven shape. I like that they decided to go with the little red eyes. These in the ravens kind of make them look all menacing like. And I am glad to say there are a lot of these, so that you shouldn't have to worry about running out. So that is everything you will get if you obtain Tower of London. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to learn how to play Tower of London, or if you want to know my thoughts on it, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, reviews, and unboxings. Thank you all as always so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.